Time. It's 5:01, and I want to say good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I am Deirdre O'Connell. I'm the CEO of Daniel Gale Sotheby's International Realty, and along with our colleagues at Premier Sotheby's International Realty in North Carolina, we would like to warmly welcome you to our next chapter virtual event. At Daniel Gale Sotheby's International Realty, we've had the privilege of serving communities across Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens for over 100 years. With more than 800 agents, 29 offices, we are a locally rooted company that believes in deep relationships, service, and helping people make confident decisions about how and where they want to live. This evening is just about that, having a relaxed, informative conversation about North Carolina. Whether you're thinking about a move, a second home, or simply curious about new possibilities, we hope this gives you some helpful insight into what life could look like in these beautiful, beautiful communities. And what makes this evening even more special is that we're all part of Sotheby's International Realty, a network of more than 26,500 agents in 1,100 offices across 83 countries and territories. It's a powerful network, but more importantly, it's a truly connected one. So no matter where you're headed, there's someone who can help you get there, thoughtfully, professionally, and personally. We're grateful to our friends at Premier Sotheby's International Realty for joining us and sharing their knowledge of North Carolina. And so with that, I am very delighted to turn things over to Jackie Teal, the president of Sotheby's International Realty, to launch us on our virtual journey and perhaps your next chapter.
Thank you, Deirdre, and welcome to all. We're very excited to be here today as an affiliate partner of Daniel Gale Sotheby's to share some of the highlights and benefits of considering our North Carolina markets as your next destination in your life journey. Deirdre went over some of the highlights of Sotheby's and our global network and where that extends. But just to give you a glimpse into Premier Sotheby's International Realty, our company was established in 1983 and serves our local market with just global standards. Our company evolved from a family business into a powerhouse of over 1,400 real estate professionals. We have 40 offices that span Florida's Gulf Coast all the way to North Carolina's high country and Western North Carolina. And we combine regional excellence and global reach. So we're very pleased to have the opportunity to be with you today to introduce you to our North Carolina markets. And joining us are three of our advisors who serve those markets and do that so well, starting with Ben Bowen, our global advisor in our Charlotte and Lake Norman offices, Caroline Kalpinski in our Asheville office with the representing our Asheville region, and Jessica Otten with our Banner Elk office, who will introduce the what we call the high country offices of Banner Elk, Blowing Rock, and Linville Ridge, as well as the Boone area. And to give you a visual just as a starting point, we wanted to show you this map of North Carolina, so where you can see where the markets that we're going to talk about that are represented with the gold dots, that's where our offices are. And we put some other in the white dots, some other towns and cities in North Carolina, just as a reference point, so where you can see where they're located in relation to the markets that we'll discuss. So we're going to start with one of our most desirable markets during the peak summer months, which is starting now, and take a trip to the high country that is made up of the towns that I mentioned, Blowing Rock and Boone and Banner Elk and Linville Ridge, where retirees are really defining what it means to retreat. So North Carolina's high country offers an elevated lifestyle, really rooted in natural beauty and community and year-round recreation. Increasingly favored for both seasonal retreats and multi-generational living, properties here serve as lasting investments, both in family and financial legacy. There's tax advantages, top-tier healthcare, and access to private clubs. So this region really blends luxury living with long-term value. As mentioned, Jessica is with us from the High Country Markets, and we'll get started with her sharing her insights into what makes this area so desirable and special. So Jessica, the High Country is known for its four-season appeal. Can you talk a little bit about how this enhances both lifestyle and investment value for buyers?
Yes, so people are drawn here naturally because of the four different seasons. So not only do we have, average of low 70s in the summertime, which we're enjoying right now, as the others mentioned, it is much hotter off the mountain. So we don't have that high humidity level. So people have been coming here for ages just to beat the heat. But it's not just about the summer. Our fall season is gorgeous with beautiful fall foliage. The winter season, we have a lot of we have three different ski resorts up here. So we have a vibrant ski community as well. And then the spring is also beautiful as well. So our towns and our communities have really done a great job of extending the season. For instance, our Beach Mountain resort, they turned the ski resort into a downhill mountain bike park in the summertime. They have a wonderful concert series that they do. And so they're really giving, a reason for people to come all four seasons. And so it's not really just about people that are wanting to live here. They come here on vacation first, and then will transition ultimately to wanting to stay here and spend more time. I always tell people the more time that you spend here, the more you're going to want to be here. And part of that is just really expanding across the different seasons. The resort communities that our area represents are also somewhat more immune to the we have a little bit more consistent demand across the market. So, when we don't see the sharp ups and downs quite as much as the other markets do, we're a little bit more consistent there.
Very good. And can you tell us a little bit about the other recreational options like dining and those who prioritize wellness?
Yes, so we have world-class dining across all of the different towns in our area, and each one is going to have its own character. A lot of them focus on farm to table with local ingredients. We have several farmers markets in the area, so they try to source as much as they can locally. And several of the restaurants are really stepping it up. We actually have a private restaurant concept in a few of our communities, and it's just really stepped up. So you are very surprised that you come to a small mountain town and have access to such wonderful dining opportunities. And then we also have several wineries that have events throughout the year, live music pretty much every day, and then special culinary events that they do with wine pairing or guest chefs as well. And then as far as the wellness centric amenities, we have world class spas like Westglow. It's one of the top 10 spas in the country. We have fitness clubs. There's also wellness centers that are geared towards either rehabilitation or maintenance and just really kind of staying active. And we also have fitness clubs as well as holistic retreats.
Very good. So, with that prioritizing the outdoor access and those type of things, talk a little bit about the proximity for activities like skiing and hiking and other things that people would like to do outdoors that really may help influence buyer preferences for the area.
Yeah, and one of the things that we really see a lot is that when folks are looking to purchase a home, especially if it will ultimately end up being a retirement home for them in their retirement, they're wanting something that their children and grandchildren can enjoy as well. And so they're really focused on being in an area where there's something for everyone to enjoy. It's not just about their preferences. They may not be getting on the slopes, but their kids and grandkids will. So we also have amazing fly fishing opportunities that has really kind of made a name for itself in the trout fishing. And also vacation rental is one of the things that people look to as far as a long-term investment. So they're not necessarily ready to make the full-time move here. So they buy a home and they rent it out while they're not using it. And we've had great success in a very strong tourism resort type market that have all these amenities and wonderful things to do around. And so those type of activities are really important, not just for the people that are enjoying it themselves, but for their family as well as their guests that will ultimately be staying with them.
And so we saw on the map where the high country is located. Tell us a little bit about the accessibility for travel when people want to come to the area, especially, options for flying in.
So we're within 2 hours of several major airports. Charlotte Douglas International would be the largest, which is about 2 hours away from in Charlotte. But we also have Asheville Regional, Greensboro, the Tri-Cities, and then we have a few local private options as an option that's a much smaller airport for smaller planes. But Elk River is a private airstrip that a lot of people choose to take advantage of. And you can even just purchase a lot in there. You don't have to be a homeowner to be able to have access to that airstrip.
Very good. So healthcare is very important to all of us. Will you tell us a little bit about the accessibility and availability of healthcare and the care that is provided in that area?
Yeah, so this is one of the top things that people have on their list, right up there with number of bedrooms and bathrooms, is they want to make sure that they're close to good healthcare, not just healthcare, but good quality healthcare. And UNC Healthcare just actually purchased our regional hospital a few years ago and has really elevated the experience. They've opened an entirely new wing, and I'll tell you a quick story that kind of sets this in stone. A lot of people are really looking for that access to medical care because they are coming here, in their 60s and they're wanting to transition to here in retirement. And so I had some guests that were the same way, and they were looking just at this area as an option, but they weren't quite sure about the healthcare. And when they were here, he actually unfortunately had a heart attack, but was in the ICU there for a week. And they said because of the care that he received during that experience, that this was going to be their forever home, and that reassured them to that. So I thought that was a good testimony to really a trial run of the services. But we really do have a lot of wonderful activities. People have been coming to the mountains for hundreds of years to heal, and the air is so clean and fresh here, and there's so many wonderful things to keep you active that is more preventative and then just take care of the whole body instead of just wait until there's a problem. And so we have a medical center in Blowing Rock that it focuses more on rehabilitation. So it's a transitional. They do have some long-term care options, but if you're not quite ready to go home and need a little bit more care, it's a transitional center as well as a rehab.
Great. And will you tell us a little bit about the people that live there, as well as some of the tax benefits that come along with being a member of the area?
So we're in an interesting kind of market here in especially Watauga County because we are a college town. So our demographics do shift quite a bit depending on the time of year. So in the summertime, all our students go back home, and we do have a lot of second homeowners that are primarily from the southeast in Florida that are coming up here to beat the heat when it's 100 degrees off the mountain and it's 70 here. And so we are average about 134 residents total, but that does fluctuate quite a bit throughout the year. And so in Watauga County, which is Boone and Blowing Rock primarily in Watauga, The average home price is 572,000, and then we're in between, the mid 300s to 400 for Avery County, which would be Banner Elk area, and then Ashe County, which would be West Jefferson is the town there, and then Allegheny County, which is Sparta, and that's a little bit further north, almost in Virginia. And so our inventory has quite fluctuated a lot throughout the last few years, but we're definitely coming into more of a buyer's market where we've got a lot more options for our buyers, which also give more options for our sellers to be able to go and explore other opportunities. Our main industries here it is a resort destination. So service, hotels, hospitality, tourism is our big industry. We do have a lot of construction, but there's not a whole lot of manufacturing going on. So, and then education and health services. So Appalachian State University is one of our primary draws and economic drivers. And then we also are home to Samaritan's Purse is locally here as well. And we have a few other companies, but not so much manufacturing, more on the service side. As far as the tax benefits, especially for property tax values, especially when we're comparing in other locations, it's a much more of a value for them to come here. And there's also Social Security benefits that aren't taxed, and then a flat income tax rate as well.
So this is a sampling of some of the homes that are for sale. Would you please comment on these and give a little color to our audience about these properties?
So the first one at 344 High Country Overlook is featured in one of our local communities we'll talk about next. This is an Eagle's Nest. The lodge is at Eagle's Nest. So it is not a private club. It's a community that has a lot of outdoor amenities. They always say they trade in their golf carts for ATVs. So people ride their ATVs around the neighborhood. There's hiking trails, horseback riding trails. They just opened a brand new restaurant, which is a very, very high end. What is it called? Chop House, I believe. And they have a couple other locations across the country. And so we do have some options that are not private clubs that still provide that sense of community and lifestyle that people are looking for at a much lower rate. In the middle is Baird's Creek Road. This is located just outside of Boone, kind of in between Boone and Banner Elk. This is not located in a community, but and honestly, whenever you step outside of the downtown areas, the value that you get is a lot more. You can get a lot more bang for your buck. So this has about almost 3 acres, and it's 3,700 square feet for 900,000. Has been updated as well, and has some nice usable land. Overbrook Trail is located up on Beech Mountain, which is one of our ski resort towns. You do have the option to join the Beech Mountain Club, which has a beautiful golf course, amazing views, a couple different restaurant options, recreational amenities. And then you can also either pass this on to your guests, or you can transfer it to your short-term rentals as well as a value added. Beech Mountain is a traditional ski town, but again, they really have done a great job of extending the season all 12 months of the year. So there's activities going on all year round.
And there are, of course, new construction projects and renovation projects in the area. Will you speak to the trends in, those new ones that are coming in, and anything else that is happening in that renovation area?
So in our area, we have some really wonderful builders, but they're pretty backed up. So if you're going to start the process from start to finish, you need to be planning for about 3-year time frame to be able to get on someone's schedule and then be able to get into your home. And so one of the things that people are looking to do more so than start from scratch is to renovate. And we're starting to see a lot of the older traditional homes, especially up on Beech Mountain, that were built in the 60s. People are coming in and totally overhauling. One of the big things is becoming more efficient. So we don't really need air conditioning up here as much as you might think, but they're putting more efficient systems in. And the other thing that people are doing is really taking elements of nature. So poplar bark siding, cedar, different natural tones that complement the environment with a more modern spin. So we call it mountain modern. So it's kind of the trend and design wise. And then, low maintenance is what they're looking for because primarily we're a second home market. So people don't want to have to come in and do a lot of maintenance annually. So that's a big feature as well.
Sure. So you just mentioned, the second home buyers. What amenities or home features do they commonly look for?
They want a view. They want to know that they're in the mountains when they come here. And during the COVID years, we really kind of got on people's radar. They came here to work remotely, and they fell in love with the area. And we just experienced this boom as far as the rental market goes. When everyone went back to work, they started renting their homes. But those views are really what people are looking for, as well as the ability to have an indoor and outdoor living space that they can blend seamlessly. So big decks, patios, hot tubs. But the views are really primarily what drives people. I always say that the house comes with the view, but they're buying it for that view.
Sure. Some of the communities that are listed on the screen right now with some of the clubs and other things, with the ski access, multi-generational connection, are you seeing a lot of buyers wanting to have that legacy home that will accommodate multi-generations now and in the future?
Yes, absolutely. And so another thing that people are looking for is a split space so that they can have even, a separate apartment or totally separate living quarters for their family to feel comfortable while they're staying there. And then also bunk rooms are big because they always want a place for their grandkids to be able to enjoy as well. And really to with the intention of handing that down to their family ultimately.
And then these are some of the lifestyle communities for those generations. Will you just give us some brief insights into each one of these, please?
Yeah, so the ones that were listed previously are private clubs, which of course have a lot of wonderful amenities, but they do come at a much higher price point with ongoing expenses. These here are communities that do have an HOA for maintenance and support of the amenities, but they are not a membership type setup. And so Linville Land Harbor does have a golf course. They have a lake as well as a clubhouse with ongoing activities throughout the year. And it is the price points there are actually in the low 200s. I've even seen some in the higher 100s. So it's a very good entry level place that still has a beautiful mountain setting with a lot to do. Echota is very conveniently located. It's just outside of Boone and Banner Elk. They offer low maintenance options. A lot of times people are looking for more of a condo so that they don't have to worry about the exterior maintenance or anything when they're not there. And so they have a beautiful pool. They actually have a private one now for residents as well, a separate one for people who are renting. They have wonderful fitness amenities and then just the most amazing views. So they're up on top of the mountain and as you can see from this photo, it's spectacular. Deep Gap and Powderhorn. I actually lived here for 11 years myself. Wonderful place to raise a family. There's 3 lakes there with trout fishing. We have one of the only native trout streams left in the whole state. And then there is a huge pool, a campground, and then a clubhouse that's been renovated as well. And these are all gated communities that offer, an extra level of security and privacy.
Thank you for those wonderful insights, Jessica.
Thank you.
Moving westward to the Asheville region, you'll find a very serene mountain lifestyle community with a refined creative edge. Asheville has a vibrant culture, and the surrounding communities of Brevard and Waynesville and Henderson just have a true mountain charm. And this whole region really attracts those looking for year-round access to nature and wellness-oriented communities and lasting value. Caroline Kalpinski is with us from the Asheville office to talk about the Asheville and surrounding communities. And Caroline, what do you see in this area for year-round recreation and attractions that really attract people to be part of the Asheville community? Just tell us a little bit about the lifestyle that's best served in the Asheville region.
Yes, we have a great area. We so the best part about Asheville, we were voted one of the top 20 places to live in North Carolina. I will say that first. But we have the most amazing Asheville is a great city, and it has all these surrounding cities around it. And we draw in people for reasons like the Biltmore Estate. They want to come and tour that, and they're drawn to our area for not only retirement but for fun. We have lots of nature around us. If you want to go hiking every day, you certainly can. There's plenty of that. But if you want to go to the River Arts District in Asheville and find out who the newest artists are, we have everything that you can possibly imagine at your fingertips.
Very good. So it truly is a four-season community as well.
Yes, we
So-
have. Oh.
No, go ahead. It just
Well, I was just going to
gonna
say,
talk-
yes, if you want to go kayaking down the French Broad, or you can go skiing in Chattahoochee in the wintertime, scenic drives on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I mean, there's hiking, there's something for every season. And whether your grandkids are coming to visit and want to go skiing or kayaking, and you don't necessarily want to, we have something for everyone.
Culture in the arts is such a huge draw to the Asheville region. Tell us a little bit more about where one would go to experience and explore that culture and artistic legacy there.
Yeah, so if I had clients coming here and I wanted to really dazzle them with our cultural arts area, I would definitely send them to the River Arts District down in downtown Asheville area. It's so cool, and you see a little bit of everything and a lot of diversity, but beautiful art. We have the Blue Ridge Festival that goes on. We have the music festivals. Um, and then we have the Blooming Festival at the Biltmore Estate. So if you are a flower person and want to see that area, then you can go to you can buy a season pass at the Biltmore every year, which is amazing, and go bike riding. You can go walking around the grounds, and you can go into the home as many times as you'd like. And they always have a different artist or someone that has an exhibit going on. So it's really cool to be a part of that.
So UNC Asheville has their OLLI program that provides retirees with some academic and creative opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The OLLI program is awesome for the fact that if a retiree wants to continue their education and continue to learn and continue to build their brain, they can do that, and they can access all of the art, literature, design, and history, and it's hundreds of courses that are offered, and it's been great for our community and personal growth.
So sustainability and wellness have become key buyer priorities in many parts of the country. How is Western North Carolina and the Asheville region responding to that shift? What do they offer in access to those types of areas?
So we have 3 fabulous hospital, Mission Health, Party, and Advent Health. And so Mission is right in Asheville, downtown Asheville. And then you have Party, which is Hendersonville, and Advent Health, which is in the Fletcher area. All 3 hospitals have great reputations and are known for taking great care of their clients and patients. We also have private fitness clubs, yoga studios on every corner you could possibly imagine, wellness resorts. We have the Grove Park Spa, which is amazing, and I love to have an excuse to go spend the day there because it is the most relaxing place. And so we just have several different areas for wellness that you can take advantage of.
And I think one or two, the lower cost of care, because of the lower cost of living and the affordability that the Asheville region offers is a huge draw too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because we do have the lower cost of care, compared to other markets, it allows people to be able to live a more comfortable life in our area.
And tell us a little bit about some of the active adult and 55 plus communities that are in the area.
So we have some great adult 55 plus communities. Most are gated communities where you have access to walking trails, pickleball, tennis, golf, you name it, dinners, wine dinners, sewing clubs, anything that you want, mahjong, you name it, it's being offered. And you can be in Hendersonville and be a part of that community. You could be in Asheville, you could be in Waynesville, Brevard, you name it, and there are communities for everyone.
So you had already mentioned about Asheville being one of the top places to retire. Talk with us a little bit about the tax advantages for seniors that the area offers.
So what I have learned living in this area for seniors is that we have no state tax on Social Security income, which is huge for someone moving to our area from another area that does get heavily taxed. North Carolina does not. We have lower property taxes, and we have significantly no estate or inheritance tax, and we have a state level estate, and we do not have a state level estate and inheritance tax, excuse me. And then we have the retirement income taxation.
And will you tell us a little bit about the people that live there and also the real estate?
Sure. So we have our area is about 95,000 residents. The average home price in the Asheville, Hendersonville, Waynesville area is around 465,000. Now that depends on what neighborhood you choose and how large of a home you want. We definitely have lower and higher priced homes. Right now, our inventory, we have more on the market now than we have, but it's still lacking. Right now, we have about 1,796 homes in these areas, and it covers three or four different counties. So we have Buncombe County, Henderson County, we have Rutherford County, Polk County, Madison County. So we have several areas that you can explore and find the right neighborhood for you and the right home and price.
Caroline, so the homes that the buyers are looking for, are they primary residences, vacation homes, long-term rentals, or investments?
I think we have a little bit of everything, but I think we have a huge second home market and a primary home market. As far as investments go, though, there's definitely a market for that. I own several investment properties and love it, that area of the market because we do have people vacationing here, and so they want to stay in a nice home and that has beautiful views and views of the mountains, or that you're 10 minutes to a local restaurant where you can get a fabulous meal that was farm to table. And so we kind of have, everything at your fingertips, like I've said.
So here are some homes that are listed for sale in the Asheville region. Please share a little bit about each of these homes.
Yeah.
And
So
where
the
they're
first,
located.
okay, the first home is 30 Green Lane, and that home is in Fletcher. Fletcher is very close to the Asheville airport. So you're probably about 10 minutes from the Asheville airport, 10 to 15 minutes, I would say. This is a lovely home, 2.9 million. It's in the Cane Creek area of the Asheville Fletcher area. So you're definitely feel like you're in the country. However, you have Target and restaurants and the airport and gas stations, everything at your fingertips within a 15-minute drive. The great part about this home as well is that it's all one level. There is a upstairs for a couple of guest bedrooms for your guest, but this home is perfect for someone that wants, main level living. Then
And
the next
Firefly
house the next house we have on Firefly Cove in Lake Lure is a beautiful area. Lake Lure is fabulous. It's a smaller lake, but you can have boats, kayaks, canoes. It's a great area. You're about 30 minutes from Hendersonville, and Lake Lure, you've got a resort there. You've got several restaurants. And so this Firefly Cove is in a neighborhood in Lake Lure, and it's just a beautiful area. You can't go wrong in that floor plan as well. And then the
and
251 Bee Tree Road in Swannanoa. Swannanoa is east of Asheville. It borders Black Mountain as well. And so you are 15 minutes to downtown Asheville. You are 15 minutes to downtown Black Mountain, another cute area, cute little town outside of Asheville. And it's a great price. It's all one level, 789,000. And you're in a nice neighborhood. It's a newer home, and yeah, I mean we have something for everyone.
And then we touched on 55 and up plus communities, and there are some that are featured here. Will you share a little bit about each one of these communities?
Absolutely. Carriage Park is a gated community in Hendersonville. The great part about this community is that it is 10 minutes from downtown Hendersonville. So you can get to the restaurants, you can get to the YMCA or, your local gym. But you have at your fingertips inside the gated community hiking trails. You've got indoor pool area, clubhouse. Carriage Park is great. Homes range in the 600 to 2 million range there. So you can kind of get several different price brackets. There's condos in Carriage Park. So if you didn't want to take care of the yard, lock and go type homes, then you've got that as well. High Vista is in Mills River, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from Asheville. It is about 10 minutes to Biltmore Park area in Asheville, and it's also about 10 minutes to the airport of Asheville. So, again, a nice lock and go community if you want to hop on a plane and go somewhere else, or you want to relax and go play a round of golf. High Vista has a golf course. It also has a pool, a restaurant in their community, and beautiful condos and homes, and they range from anywhere from 450,000 up to a $3 million home. So you kind of got every different price point. And then we have Conisty Falls, which is in Brevard. Brevard is a precious town outside of Asheville and Hendersonville, famously known for the White Squirrel Festival. But Conisty Falls has lakes, it's got a golf course, it's got a restaurant, it's got the most amazing views from several areas. So pickleball is a big component to Conisty Falls, and it's named for several Indian tribes. So you can't pronounce any of the street names. They're too hard to pronounce. However, everybody somehow manages it, but it's a great community. And I have several clients that love living in there and have really made it their life.
Thank you very much, Caroline.
Thank you.
We're going to now move to a little bit to the east, to the more central part of the state, and one of the more active communities that not only offers city life, but the lake life within just a short driving distance. And that are the areas of Charlotte and the Lake Norman markets. U.S. News and World Report ranked Charlotte among the top 10 best places to retire in the United States. And it's because of its vibrant culture scene, quality health care, and favorable climate. And just north of Charlotte, the Lake Norman area offers 500 miles of shoreline for those who like to boat, fish, or just appreciate nature. Ben Bowen is with us, who represents the very best in real estate in those communities. And Ben is going to share his insights into what makes those areas so special. So Ben, Charlotte is rapidly growing as a financial and innovation hub. How is this impacting demand for real estate in those areas?
Hey, thank you, Jackie, and welcome everyone. So Charlotte and Lake Norman. So Charlotte is the #2 banking center in America, behind obviously New York. Tons of banking here. We have manufacturing in the area. We're seeing some high-tech jobs here, major airport here, but it's a huge banking hub. And there are a lot of Charlotteans that commute to New York Monday through Friday, fly up Monday morning, come back on Fridays. But the banking has been a strong center of our community for a long time, with major offices from Bank of America and Wells Fargo here. But it certainly helped the growth, Jackie. We have seen during COVID, as jobs became more mobile and people could work remotely, Charlotte's an area that many people have chosen to move and to relocate to.
Very good. So I'm so sorry. My thing will not advance.
There it goes.
Location, location, location. So proximity to all the airports and the beaches and the mountains and the lakes. Tell us a little bit about the location of Charlotte and the desirability of being in Charlotte because of those reasons.
Yeah, so you can get to about 80% of the US population. Basically, everything east of the Rockies is about a 2-hour flight from here. So great access to a lot of the country. New York is about a 12-hour drive roughly to Manhattan from here. So we see a lot of New Yorkers who move to Florida and decide they want easier access back to New York, have landed in the Charlotte area or North Carolina area, and they can drive back in a day. The other thing I love is the access to the beaches and mountains. Where Jessica and Caroline are, they're about 2 hours from us. So a lot of our Charlotte families will go to the mountains for the weekends, or they'll have a mountain house that they'll go to for the weekends. And if you're more of a beach person, we're about 3.5 to 4 hours from the Carolina coastline. That includes towns like Wrightsville Beach, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Hilton Head. Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Hilton Head are all South Carolina, which is all super accessible for us as well. But so having the ability, Jackie, to get to the mountains or beaches on a whim on a weekend is great. And so, like I said, a lot of families will choose to have a second home somewhere or just escape for a long weekend somewhere.
Wonderful. You know, Lake Norman is a very sought after waterfront community. What are buyers looking for when they're shopping for properties in that area?
Yeah, so Travel and Leisure just named Lake Norman the #3 place to buy real estate in America, ahead of a little lake called Lake Tahoe. So that was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
Charlotte really, I mean, Lake Norman really has gotten on the national radar. And for those who are trying to figure out where Lake Norman is, the southern end of Lake Norman is about 20 miles from downtown Charlotte, or as we call it here, uptown Charlotte. So it's really a suburb of Charlotte. You can live at Lake Norman and work in Charlotte, have access to Charlotte for restaurants, dining, shopping, sporting events, whatever, and live here. A little bit quieter, slower pace of life here. But waterfront here is huge, and people are wanting access to the lake for boating. We can boat here. You can boat year round, but really March through November is great boating season. There are certainly people that fish year round here though, but access to the Lake Jackie and water views are the big thing here. People want modern open floor plans with lake access. So, and Lake Norman is primarily a primary home market. We do see some families that have a second home here that live in other areas. Some of the Charlotte residents have a lake house here, and we've got people from other areas. Had a client just sold a beach house and bought a lake house here. Wanted to trade in the beach for the lake. So really, really sought after.
Wonderful. So again, healthcare being important as well as other senior programs. Will you just touch on some of the availability of those resources that are
Sure.
important to all of us?
Yeah, so Atrium and Novant are our two biggest healthcare providers in Charlotte. There's a Children's Levine Center there where people come from all over the country for care for children, but really fantastic cutting edge healthcare here. A lot of new hospitals are getting built at Lake Norman right now. We've got a new one opening July 1st. So tons of good healthcare here. And I really feel like living here, we've got access to the very best medical care professions in Charlotte and Lake Norman. And again, in Lake Norman, you're getting all the Charlotte healthcare at Lake Norman as well.
Cost of living is important. Will you touch on the highlights and the benefits of being part of the communities in Charlotte and Lake Norman?
Yeah, so housing is more affordable typically than a lot of parts of the country. So you're getting a little bit more bang for the buck. However, we are getting pretty expensive at Lake Norman and certain parts of Charlotte, but certainly it's more affordable than most of the country. Property taxes here on a $1 million home, that's about $7,600 per year. Our taxes are done at least every 8 years. So you might buy a home for $1 million. That's tax values based upon a number of 700,000. So your number might even be lower than this number. I think a couple people already mentioned it, but our state income tax is flat at 4.5%. New York's escalates up to almost 11%. So income tax here certainly saves a lot of money, and your children will thank you. There's no estate or inheritance tax. So your kids will be happy to hear that. And real estate, Jackie, we've always been a very sustainable market. It's not rapid growth, but it's very consistent. It was recently ranked by Forbes as one of the 10 best places to buy real estate. It's just a steady, consistent investment. We've got about 120 families per day moving to Charlotte. So the economy is diverse. The weather is great. We're going to probably continue to be a great place for people to move to. So I think people see real estate as a very safe investment here.
Very good. So there are many appeals, of course, for relocating to the Charlotte and Lake Norman areas. Will you just touch on the main appeals that we hear the most?
Yeah. So first of all, kind of the joke here is nobody's from here. People have migrated and relocated from everywhere. I had a lady from New York say to me one day, she said, "Ben, I'll bet you're tired of all of us New Yorkers moving to your city." And I said, "No, ma'am, you're making my mortgage payment every month." So we love the people coming here. It's great. But I really do think, Jackie, it's easy for somebody to move here from another part of the country, fit in, blend in, find their niche. There's truly people from everywhere. You're getting a little bit larger lots and less congestion here. You can also leave your snow shovel at home. Charlotte gets about 2 inches of snow per year. So if you want to see a little bit of the snow, you can run to the North Carolina mountains and see it for a weekend. But we're going to have pretty mild winters here. Falls are absolutely beautiful, and great springs. And then the summer, great time to go to the beach or to the lake in the summertime. Charlotte's got a lot of very distinct neighborhoods and towns around it. Just as a reference, the greater Charlotte area population is about 2.8 million people. So it's not a small city, but whatever your vibe is, whatever you're looking for, I think it's here in a specific town or neighborhood. There are tons of greenways and parks and outdoor recreation. Golf is huge in Charlotte. We just hosted the PGA Championship. And there's a little golf town called Pinehurst about 2 hours from here. So if you're a golfer, that's a must see and do thing to do. But we just keep getting consistently rated high, I think, Jackie, because of the diversity of everything that Charlotte has to offer. It's certainly not a one size fits all. We've got neighborhoods that are pretty affordable, as I'm sure we'll touch in just a second, all the way up to some very expensive homes here as well.
Very good. And will you just at a very high level touch on the people that who live here as well as what they do?
Yeah, so sure. So Charlotte's about 900,000 population. Again, the metro area is about 2.8 million. Average home price of 439. I wish I could find those homes. We could sell them all day long. A lot of Charlotte is more expensive. I would tell you we've got a huge segment of homes selling from 600 to $1 million. That's a huge price point where we're seeing a lot of activity at in the Charlotte area. As you go closer into town, homes typically become more expensive. You've got proximity to high-paying jobs. A couple of the major hospitals are just south of Uptown, so those areas like South Park, Myers Park, Foxcroft, Eastover, those are neighborhoods in Charlotte that are pretty expensive to live in. As you get up to Lake Norman actually touches 5 different counties. The lake is about 40 miles from south end to the top end of the lake. It covers about 520 miles of shoreline. There are about 10 restaurants you can access by boat. So if you want to go to dinner, you can eat either a nice meal or get a greasy cheeseburger, whatever. A lot of different dining options here. But Lake Norman has some jobs here. A part of the lake is kind of a commuter village for people. But Lowe's Home Improvement Stores, their headquarters is in Mooresville, and that's here. If you happen to be a NASCAR fan, Mooresville is considered Race City, USA. Lots of the NASCAR drivers live at Lake Norman, and the house that Talladega Nights was filmed in was sold last year. So a lot of neat NASCAR and racing things here as well.
Very good. So these are some of the Charlotte homes for sale. If you could just give us a few highlights on each one of them.
Sure, Jackie. The first house at 1.8 million on 9 Bark Trail is in a neighborhood called the Sanctuary. The unique thing there is the lot sizes average about 3 to 5 acres. So you're getting homes. A lot of the homes there are in the 5 to 7,000 square foot range. But that's the first home. Second home on South Street, I think this is a pretty good example of what a newer home might look like. You'll notice the lots are small. A lot of our new development, if it's in town, you're going to have small lots. You're paying for location, but you're going to get all the brand new features and amenities in a house. And the third home, a little bit more out in the suburbs on Underwood Avenue. And the big thing in there is you're going to get about a half acre of land on a house like that. And that home's a few years old, but again, you're getting convenience and a large lot there.
And Lake Norman.
Sure. Denver. So Denver's on the west side of our lake, and this is a newer house. Certainly, a lot of the growth at Lake Norman is either going north because the southern end of the lake is primarily built up, or west. And so this is Denver of the East, as we call it. But a lot of new construction there. So some great new build opportunities there. And I think Jessica mentioned a long wait to build up in the high country. Building's very active and robust here, but there are opportunities to build right away here. Cornelius, that's the southern end of Lake Norman. It's probably the most expensive part of the lake because of the proximity, not only to Uptown Charlotte, but you've got a plethora of shops and dining area. There's an area called Burkdale that's close to this for shopping and restaurants. And then Davidson. Davidson is a quaint little town that looks like a Norman Rockwell painting. The basketball program, Steph Curry the school, Davidson College, is home to Steph Curry, but he put the basketball program on the map there. And but Davidson's a great little town centered around the college, which is home to about 2,000 students and very highly regarded academically. But as a reference point, Davidson and Cornelius butt up to one another. So they're literally next door to each other. You can go 100 yards and cross town. So when you live here, you've got access to each town. Every town around the lake's got a little bit different vibe and feel to it, but you've got access to all these for shopping, dining, and outdoor activities.
And you touched on a couple of these already with the some of the
Yeah.
communities that are in the lake area. Is there anything that you'd like to add about the Peninsula, Brookdale Village, or Davidson?
Yeah, so the Peninsula Jack is in Cornelius. It's got about 900 homes in there. Championship Reese Jones Golf Course, they just totally renovated. It's a very exclusive, very high end. It's about $100,000 to join there. And that's kind of the cap. That's our highest end of our market there for a country club typically here. Brookdale Village has some really neat smaller homes that are designed for walking. They've all got front porches, and you can walk from your house to Brookdale Village, which has tons of shops and restaurants, and you can have a nice dinner and see a movie in Brookdale Village. And Davidson, as I mentioned, it's just a really, really neat little small town it's about 5 miles from Brookdale Village. So really it's accessible from everywhere.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights, Ben.
Yeah.
So we hope you'll see that from the natural beauty and the outdoor lifestyles to the affordability and tax advantages, these North Carolina markets offer you a very relaxed lifestyle and Southern hospitality. There's a strong economy that continues to grow, and it's a place that's really filled with rich culture in all of the areas that we talked about. Nearly 1/5 of customers moving to North Carolina share that their motive in retirement is all due to the climate and the cost benefits, the community infrastructure, and the insurance-friendly environment. So we thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that this information has piqued your interest in learning more about North Carolina or where the next phase of life may take you. So as part of your participation in the Daniel Gale Sotheby's team, we'll be following up with a few valuable assets to continue to give you deeper information into the North Carolina market. This will include the Vibe magazine that we are showing on the screen today, all the information that we went over, and some more resources about neighborhoods and healthcare and schools and parks and recreations and favorite restaurants that you'll find in the guides too. We'll also send you our monthly market report, actually quarterly market report, for the real estate insights that we hope you'll find helpful. So if you're interested in learning more and want to be connected to a local advisor or a global advisor within our Sotheby's International Realty footprint, either in North Carolina or really anywhere around the globe, please let the Daniel Gale Sotheby's team know, and they'll make the introduction to the best advisor fit for your needs. Thank you again for joining us, and be on the lookout for an invitation to the next chapter session for a glimpse into another desirable market. Have a great evening.